All right, so if you're a founder and you feel like you're just drowning in work and your business growth has kind of flatlined, then this is for you. We're going to break down Dan Martell's game-changing framework from his book, Buy Back Your Time, and show you exactly how to escape that grind for good. So, does this sound familiar? Your business is growing, which is awesome, right? But your hours are growing right along with it. You're working harder than ever, but you feel stuck. Like you've become the main thing holding your own company back. Well, that feeling? It has a name. And, more importantly, it has a solution. Okay, first things first, we gotta understand the problem. It's a classic scenario, and Dan Martell calls it the founder's trap. So here's the deal. When you're the one approving every single invoice, handling all the customer service calls, and booking your own travel, you've become the bottleneck. It's that simple. Your personal capacity is now the absolute limit on your company's growth. The only way to really scale is to start systematically pulling yourself out of that day-to-day equation. So, when do you finally decide to make a change? Well, Martell has a name for it: crossing the pain line. You know that feeling? It's that gut-wrenching moment when you realize the pain of doing every little thing yourself is finally worse than the pain you think you'll feel training someone else. Recognizing that moment, that's the first real step toward freedom. Okay, so how do you actually escape this trap? It all starts with a pretty radical shift in how you think. It's called the buyback principle. You know, the concept here is deceptively simple, but it is so powerful. You can't just magically create more hours in the day, right? But what you can do is buy back the hours you're currently just wasting on low-value stuff. And this completely reframes everything. It makes time, not money, your single most precious asset. And this is the critical shift. The old way of thinking, it sees hiring as just an expense, something that drains your bank account. The new mindset, though, sees hiring as an investment, one with a massive return. You stop trading your precious, limited time for money. Instead, you start trading your money for more time, and that's time you can then plow back into the high-value things that actually grow your business. But look, this isn't just some nice philosophy. It's a real, actionable system. And Martell calls it the 5-step buyback loop. So this framework, it's a continuous cycle, right? It's designed to just systematically reclaim your time over and over. It starts with an audit. You gotta see where your time is actually going. Then you transfer all the low-value junk off your plate. You fill that newfound freedom with high-impact work, stack the profits you make to fund your next hire, and then you get to enjoy the effect, a business that actually grows without you being the bottleneck. It's a beautiful thing. You've probably heard this before, but you really can't manage what you don't measure. So the first step, and this is absolutely non-negotiable, is what's called a time and energy audit. For just 1 week, you have to track everything you do, every single task. That data is going to become your treasure map for buying back your time. So as you're tracking your time, you start putting every task into this matrix. And look at that bottom left corner, the $10 an hour work. We're talking admin, managing your inbox, booking travel. That's the stuff you delegate immediately. The whole goal here is to climb this ladder, to free yourself up so you can live in that top right quadrant. That's the high-value, high-energy work that actually grows your empire. Okay, so you've found the tasks you need to get rid of. Great, but how do you actually transfer them without, spending the next 3 weeks writing complicated manuals? Well, that's where step 2, transfer, comes in with a method that is just deceptively simple. And the key here is brilliant. You just record yourself doing the task 1 time. That's it, just once. Explain it out loud as you go. Then you give that video to your new hire, and you make it their very first assignment to create the written playbook from your video. I mean, come on. This not only saves you dozens of hours, it forces them to really deeply understand the process from the get-go. All right, this is the million-dollar question, isn't it? Who do you hire first? Step 3, which is fill, gives us a super clear prioritized roadmap. It's called the replacement ladder. And Martell is super clear on this. He argues, pretty forcefully, that for almost every single founder, the first hire has to be an executive assistant, an EA. So why? Well, it's simple. An EA takes all of that $10 an hour personal and professional admin work right off your plate. That creates the time and, just as importantly, the mental space you need to go out and effectively hire for all the other roles. Okay, and steps 4 and 5, this is where the magic really starts to happen. You stack your wins. You take that time your new EA just bought you, and you invest it into high-value revenue-generating stuff. That new revenue, it funds your next hire. See how that works? It creates this self-perpetuating flywheel of growth. And the effect? It's not just about more money. It's about compounding freedom.
So, okay, we've got all these tools, all these frameworks, but where do you actually begin? What's the single most important thing you can do, like, right now?
Look, don't overthink it. The path forward is actually crystal clear. First, just pause. Spend 1 week tracking your time with that matrix we talked about. Then, make hiring an executive assistant your #1 single most important priority. That is the first critical domino to fall to reclaim your life.
And hey, for all my fellow perfectionists out there, you need to tattoo this rule on your brain. A task done at 70% quality by somebody else is infinitely better than it being 100% done by you. Why? Because it's done. It's off your plate. And that frees you up for the real work that only you can do. Because at the end of the day, this whole buyback principle, it isn't just a business strategy. It's really a life strategy. It's about building a company that serves you, not the other way around. It's about giving yourself the freedom of time, the freedom of purpose, and the freedom to focus on your relationships.
So I'm going to leave you with this one question. If you could buy back just 10 hours next week, what would you really do with that time? What's that big, high-value project you'd finally get to tackle? What relationship would you pour that time into? Whatever your answer is, that is the real reason to get started.